So if you are in a house and you make the transaction and you go to the upper floor or you leave the house, then the deal is final. And I will explain to you again how this is going to take place. Islam gives the choice to the Muslims if they make the wrong decision. Now sometimes I'm with you in a room and I see your watch and it's, wow, beautiful watch. I want to buy it. And it so happens that the other person doesn't want the watch. Says, okay, how much you're buying it for? I'll say, I'll take it for 1,000. And the man says, I accept. Takes off the watch, puts it on the table. The man takes his wallet, puts the 1,000 on the table. The man takes the money, the man takes the watch. Wow, beautiful watch. The guy says, beautiful money. But while still in the room, after an hour, after 2 hours, they have lunch, they talk, they speak, they have desserts, they do whatever they want. After a while, they did not separate physically. After a while, one of them changes his mind and said, listen, I think 1,000 is little. I want my watch back. Or the other one says, Akhi, take your watch. 1,000 is a lot of money. I don't want your watch anymore. Is this permissible? The answer is yes. Is it mandatory upon both? Because I sold you the watch, I'm not willing to take it. Khalas, I have the money, I don't want to. No, the Prophet tells us that this is mandatory. Both of us have to accept. If one does not want to continue with the transaction, it is a must. The condition is that we are in the same room. Okay, what about if I take the money of the watch, I gave the watch to my friend, and I said, 1 minute please, and I leave the room, and I come after 5 minutes. And when he changes his mind, he says, okay, khalas, I changed my mind, give me my money. I said, it's done, the deal is final. He said, I changed my mind. He said, yo, the Prophet said, as long as they do not separate, I separated. What is the ruling on that? The ruling is haram. This is not permissible and it's not accounted for. One would say, it was reported that Ibn Umar, may Allah be pleased with him, used to do this. And he's the narrator of the hadith. He used to separate. He buys something, he used to say 1 minute, and he goes and he comes back. So the deal is final. Well, scholars said that Ibn Umar, may Allah be pleased with him, did not know that there is another hadith where the Prophet says, alayhi salatu wasalam, that you should not leave the room so that you enforce the sale. If you intended to do this, no, this is haram. But if you separate naturally, if he says, listen, I'm going to buy a cheeseburger and come, and he goes to buy cheeseburger and comes, he says, I changed my mind. Khalas, it's final. He cannot change his mind because we separated without the intention of breaking the deal or making the deal. So this is the main condition. The Prophet also says, alayhi salatu salam, or you give the choice. What kind of choice? You and I are buying and selling. I have my merchandise, you have your money. Before we make the bargain, I say to you, listen, you do not have the choice. Once we say the deal is done, it's done. Do you agree? He says, I agree. Khalas, I agree, you agree, the deal is done. After 5 minutes, he says, I changed my mind. Can he? The answer is no, because there is mutual agreement that the choice is gone. So this is what is meant by al-khiyar, or the choice of, they call it al-majlis, where we are gathering together. This is in Arabic called khiyar al-majlis. And the choice has a number of different kinds, not only of the majlis. So let us first see if we understand the concept or not. Do we all understand the concept? I go to a place that sells jewelry. I buy a necklace for my wife. I give him the money. He puts it up in a box and he gives it to me. Now I'm talking about what? Islamic transactions. I'm not talking about what is applicable now. Now the minute the buyer catches the money, you see a very yellow smile. خلاص. Ya akhi, no akhi, don't give me this stuff. I'm not your akhu, I'm not your brother, and you're not my brother. This is money. I'm talking about the Islamic transactions. Why? Because Islam purifies the hearts. So I would not fool you on buying something and then say, khalas, the deal is done. No, you have enough time while we're in the same shop, while we're in the same gathering, to make a choice of your own. Now, the Prophet ﷺ goes on in Hadith Hakim ibn Hizam, and he clarifies to us the same concept, that the buyer and seller have the choice. But scholars say that there are a number of different choices. One of them is the choice of the location, which means that as long as we do not separate physically, the sale has to be implemented. There is a choice of condition, and this is a very beautiful condition or choice that makes transactions easier. I buy your car. How much? 20,000? Here is 20,000. On the condition that I try it for a week. If I don't like it, I'll bring it back and I take my money back. Accept? And the man says, accept. So this is called the choice of condition. I put a condition. I rent the house from you. This is 1 month in advance, but I will try it for a week. If I don't like it, you give me back the money. He says, yeah, but I will deduct the amount of 1 week. So this is in agreement, no problem. As long as we agree, and there is nothing haram in our agreement, the agreement is final and done. Also, there is the choice of being fooled. What is the choice of being fooled? I come to the market and I have no knowledge of the prices. And I ask the brother, how much is this? He says, oh, this is very expensive. This is 100,000. And I'm new, I don't know. And I take it. And I go to the shop next door and I find the same product. How much is this? This is for 5 rupees only. I bought it for 100,000. He said, wow, he made a fortune out of you. This is the choice of being fooled and the choice of ambiguity. This is not acceptable. There is the choice of making something different to what it is really is. When you have a car, before you sell it, what do? You wash it, you polish it, you clean it, you put new parts here and there, because from the outside, looks beautiful. So if I am fooled and I buy this car and then find that there is defect, so this is something that allows me to have the choice. The choice of what? The choice of defect. And we will come to that after a while in explaining the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ. So this is the choice of defect. The choice of beautification, or of showing something that is not what reality is also another choice, illustrated as will it come with us inshallah. When you buy a sheep or a goat and the owner of the goat did not milk it for 7 days. When you come and buy the goat, what do you see? Oh, this goat has a lot of milk. This means that I can have like 5 liters a day. Oh, this is a very healthy and good goat. I will buy it. And after buying it, and I'm milking it for one time, the milk is gone. And it's not generating any new milk. Why? Because he fooled me. They used to do it in Arabia. They tie the breast so it would become big with milk. So the Prophet said, this is up to you, the buyer. If you bought it, now what do you think? You want to go on or cancel it? It's up to you. If you want to cancel it, go ahead. But you have to return it with a sa' of dates, as we will come inshallah to discuss. We have a short break. Stay tuned, and inshallah we'll be right back.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'm Dr. Bilal Phillips, and you're watching Peace TV.
To uplift Iman every believer should have. If we really want to establish success in our lives,
An eagerness to learn about Islam, a desire to correct wrongs,
be firm in your belief, in our belief of Tawheed.
the thirst to avoid evil,
Focus on Allah. He won't let us down. And put all of our faith,
and the passion to follow our Creator.
all of our hope, all of our trust in Almighty Allah.
Imam Qasim Khan.
Allah is our helper. We have to totally internalize.
Imbibe the essentials to keep a regular check on our Iman in Strengthening Your Iman. Every Thursday at 7 p.m. and repeat telecast at 10 a.m. Saudi Arabia on Peace TV.
Every action depends upon its intention.
Intention sincere.
What is your intention? Why do you do what you do?
Concentration focused. Dedication dynamic.
Every single aspect of your mind, of your soul, of your heart, is it for Allah, sincerely for Him, or is it for something else?
Get going on how to improve your prayers.
The purpose of these talks is to counter exactly that type of behavior.
Join Abdul Rahim Green.
In other words, with the outward action, there is also an inner dimension.
In Inner Dimensions of Worship. Next on Peace TV.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome back. So the udder of the goat or of the sheep, once it is tied, it looks bigger than what it really is. So after milking it, you discover that you have been fooled. You have the choice. And there are different types of choices. So it's not only the choice of the location or the gathering area when I buy and sell before separating. No, there are other types. And we have also other explanations to do. Maybe we will take it quickly and then go for the questions. The Prophet ﷺ in the hadith of Hakim ibn Hizam told us about the reasons that we can get blessing of transactions. What are they? Being honest and showing the defects. And no Muslim would hide things from his brother Muslim. Otherwise, his Islam is not complete. Ya Sheikh, I'd like to sell my car, but nobody is going to buy it if I say that it had 6 accidents and 5 rollovers and 10 times the engine broke. Okay, no problem, nobody buys it, alhamdulillah. But to sell it to someone and not say anything, what will happen? The Prophet tells us that if you sell a product and you are honest and you tell the truth and you expose what's wrong in it, Allah will bless the transaction. Even if you get very little money, the money will be blessed by Allah. And the car or the merchandise will be blessed by Allah. Blessing comes from Allah. We need the blessing of Allah in everything we have, in our money, in our health, in our food, in our houses. So if you seek blessings other than Allah, you're doomed. And if you conceal the defects, if you don't tell him, listen, the tire is not good, it's flat, the engine has oil in it, or this or that. If you conceal and you lie, Allah would take the blessing of your transaction. So even if you sell it for $1 million, so I have $1 million, I'm a millionaire. What happens next? Your child is ill, take him to the hospital, they take 200,000 for operation. You make an accident with your car, it's not insured, you give another 300,000. You get illness, you get debts, you get things to pay, the money is gone. There is no barakah. But that first person with 1,000, Allah has blessed it so much, it lasted for a year. And it's generating a lot of barakah to the house. So this we have to always keep in mind. Do we have any questions? Let's start from the right. Yes, the brother at the end.
My question is based on the 4th point which you said. One should possess that object which he is selling. So if I find any natural resource, for example, gold, silver, or any antique, for example, a coin or anything, old coin, so does it make it permissible for me to sell that, or it's a government property or something?
It's called as a rikaz. And this is the treasure found by someone in the ground. So what's the ruling on that? Zakat is due on a number of things, and among them is the things that you find buried in the ground, whether in your property or in the desert, providing it is something that has the seal of disbelievers, meaning it's a treasure of pre-Islamic origin. In this case, yes, and you can utilize it. You have to pay 1/5 of it, if I recall correctly, to the treasury of the Muslims, Bayt al-Mal. If you find gold or silver or minerals in your property, then again, this depends on the Muslim ruler who rules your country. And of course, by default, it depends on the government's regulations. Some countries say that the property and what's in it is yours. In this case, if you find a gold mine, alhamdulillah, it's mine. Some countries say, no, this is for the whole population. We'll give you a compensation and we will confiscate it from you. So I hope this answers the question. From the left, yes, the brother.
Sheikh, as you said, a man purchases a thing for $100, and when he goes to the next shop, he realizes that the thing is of only 5 rupees. Now, can he have the option of getting back to the first store and getting his money back? The second question is that the choice of separation. In this cases where we live in, once the bill gets printed and we are not separated yet, we cannot cancel the deal. Is it valid here, the hadith? Can we cancel the deal?
First, about your question, which deals about buying something far, far, far more than it's actually worth. In Islamic conditions and societies, yes, you have to return it. And some jurors maybe make it into 20%. So if it's less than 20%, it's okay. If you buy something that is 20% or less, more than what's the market value is, they say it's okay. This is what some jurors say. But if it's more, like $100 and 5 rupees, there is a sky and earth difference between both of them. Islamically, yes, you can go to the first shop and tell him that you have fooled me in selling it. But are we applying this nowadays? Most shops you will find in the Muslim world, I'm not talking about non-Muslim world. In Muslim world, you'll find a sign saying that whatever you purchase, you cannot return and you cannot refund. Well, who says this? If I buy something and it's broke, what do you mean I cannot return it? I've been cheated. I have the right Islamically, but nobody unfortunately applies the Islamic concept. As for the second question, which is returning the merchandise after the bill was printed. Again, we're talking about Islamic regulations. Even if the bill was printed Islamically, you can cancel the bill and you always have this documentation canceled, and you print a 000 invoice showing that this is was refunded or cancelled Islamically. Yes, you have to. The separation, as in the hadith, is physical. You have to leave. One would say, okay, what about buying on the internet? I put a code or something. This is, again, if they were Islamically dealing with you, yes, turning off your PC would be considered to be separating. Likewise on the phone. If you buy something that you're sure of its description, not someone telling you, I have a car, and you say, I buy it. And you don't see it, you don't know it, you don't know what the specifications. No, if you have a car or some kind of merchandise that you can specifically describe, and it's exactly, accurately as you want. And on the phone, I'll buy it, and he says, okay, I'll sell it. Transaction is done. Assalamu alaikum wa alaikum salam. You hung up. This is considered to be part of the separation. Amir Rahman.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh. When we talk about khiyar and two people agreeing to certain terms, as we said, but what's the surety?
Okay. Now, in Islam, the sales, the transactions are done verbally. Marriage in Islam is very beautiful, very easy. Try it. The guardian of the girl says to the boy coming, he says, I give you my daughter in marriage. And there are 2 witnesses or more. And the boy says, I accept. Khalas, it's done. She's married to him. She's married? Yes. No walima, no wedding, no, we didn't discuss the mahar. No need. She's your wife, take her. Likewise in transactions, it is done and confirmed by saying verbally. The man says, I sell you my product for 1,000. And he says, I accept. It's done. After a day or two, you cannot come and say, listen, no one was there, so you have to bring evidence. This happened with the Prophet ﷺ. The Prophet outside of Medina saw a man, a Bedouin, with a horse. How much? So and so. I buy it. The man says, I sell it. Khalas, the transaction is done. The Prophet told him, come to Medina, I'll give you the money. The man came to Medina. On the way, he saw a group of tribesmen who saw the horse and gave him more money, not knowing that he already had sold it to the Prophet. So he gave them the horse and took the money and went to Medina. And the Prophet saw him and said, where's my horse? The Bedouin said, what horse? He said, the horse I bought from you. He said, no, I did not sell it. He said, yes, you did. He said, no, I didn't. What can we do? The sale has been done. The Prophet said, alayhi salam, I bought it from you. And the man said, where is your witness? Astaghfirullah. He's saying to the Prophet, alayhi salam, where is your witness? And the Prophet said, I don't have a witness. Khuzaymah ibn Thabit, may Allah be pleased with him, stood up and said, I testify, Prophet of Allah, that you bought the horse from him. He said, Khuzaymah, how do you testify on something you did not see? He said, Prophet of Allah, I believe that the revelation comes to you from the heavens. Don't you want me to believe you in a horse? So the Prophet laughed, alayhi salatu salam, and made his testimony, Khuzaymah, may Allah be pleased with him, of two. Usually you need two men to testify on something. The Prophet made his testimony as of two because of that incident. So transactions happen by selling. Someone proposes, I give you my merchandise for this much, and you say, I accept, khalas, it's done. Nowadays, unfortunately, because people are more of cheating and lying, they have to authenticate this. But Islamically speaking, if you go back on your transaction after we have done it, you are sinful at the sight of Allah. Maybe you will escape the punishment here in court or in jail, but you are held accountable at the sight of Allah. Until then, fi amanillah, wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.